The global automotive industry is on the brink of a seismic shift. The winds of change are blowing stronger than ever, and the landscape of transportation is being reshaped before our very eyes. For a century, the internal combustion engine reigned supreme. These mechanical marvels powered our journeys, fueled our economies, and became symbols of freedom and innovation. From the roaring engines of the early 20th century to the sleek, powerful machines of today, the internal combustion engine has been at the heart of the automotive world. Now electric vehicles are moving from the periphery to the center. What was once a niche market for the environmentally conscious is now becoming the mainstream. Charging stations are popping up in cities and towns, and the hum of electric motors is replacing the roar of gasoline engines. The shift is not just technological, it's cultural, economic, and environmental. While America pioneered the electric car, a new contender is emerging: China. The early days of electric vehicles saw American innovation leading the charge, with companies like Tesla pushing the boundaries of what was possible. But the landscape is changing rapidly. Chinese EV makers are not just catching up, they are rapidly pulling ahead, leaving American companies in their rearview mirror. With sleek designs, advanced technology, and competitive pricing, Chinese electric vehicles are capturing the imagination of consumers worldwide. The race is on, and China is setting the pace. This is not just about market share or profits, it is about technological dominance in a sector poised to define the future of transportation. The electric vehicle revolution is about more than just cars, it's about creating a sustainable, interconnected world where transportation is clean, efficient, and integrated with the smart cities of tomorrow. How did China, a relative latecomer to the automobile age, become a powerhouse in the electric one? The streets that were once filled with bicycles and early cars are now bustling with cutting-edge electric vehicles, showcasing China's rapid transformation. The answer lies in a potent mix of government support, consumer enthusiasm, and technological innovation. The Chinese government has invested heavily in the electric vehicle sector, providing subsidies, building infrastructure, and setting ambitious targets for EV adoption. Consumers, eager for modern, eco-friendly transportation options, have embraced electric vehicles with open arms. And Chinese engineers and companies are pushing the boundaries of what's possible, developing new technologies that are setting global standards. This combination of factors has propelled China to the forefront of the electric vehicle revolution, and the world is watching closely as this new era on wheels unfolds. China's EV success story begins in Beijing. The Chinese government recognized early on the strategic importance of electric vehicles. This was driven by concerns about air pollution in its megacities and a desire to reduce its dependence on foreign oil. Beijing implemented a multi-pronged strategy to promote EVs. Subsidies for EV purchases made them more affordable for consumers. Investments in charging infrastructure addressed range anxiety. Strict emission standards for traditional vehicles pushed automakers towards electrification. These policies created a fertile ground for EV adoption, fostering both supply and demand. Chinese consumers embraced EVs with open arms. In China's crowded megacities, EVs offered a way to navigate congested roads. Special lanes and parking privileges for EVs provided further incentives. Owning an EV became a status symbol, signifying technological savvy and environmental consciousness. This enthusiasm was in stark contrast to the initial skepticism towards EVs in other markets. Chinese consumers were quick to adopt new technologies. They were less attached to the romance of the internal combustion engine. This cultural openness gave Chinese EV makers a significant home court advantage. Beyond government support and consumer demand, China made strategic investments in the underlying technologies driving the EV revolution. Most notably, China secured a dominant position in the global battery supply chain. Batteries are the heart of an EV, and China controls the lion's share of battery production. From lithium mining to battery cell manufacturing, China established a vertically integrated ecosystem. This gave Chinese EV makers a cost advantage and greater control over their supply chains. Section 5: Silicon Valley shifts gears. Meanwhile, in the United States, the birthplace of Tesla and the Silicon Valley ethos, a different story was unfolding. While Tesla emerged as a global EV leader, traditional American automakers were slow to adapt. They focused on SUVs and pickup trucks, the cash cows of the American market. When they did venture into EVs, their offerings often lacked the range, affordability, or technology to compete with Chinese rivals. American consumers, accustomed to cheap gasoline and large vehicles, were slower to embrace EVs. Section 6. American drivers stuck in neutral. The American government's approach to EVs has been more fragmented than China's. While there were federal tax credits for EV purchases, these were often criticized as being insufficient and benefiting wealthier consumers. Investment in charging infrastructure lagged behind China's aggressive rollout. Without a cohesive national strategy, the United States risked falling behind in the global race for EV dominance. The Biden administration has pledged to accelerate EV adoption, but it remains to be seen whether these efforts will be enough to close the gap with China. Section 7. The numbers tell a story. The numbers paint a stark picture of China's EV dominance. China is now the world's largest EV market, both in terms of production and sales. Chinese consumers buy more EVs than the rest of the world combined. Chinese EV makers like BYD and NIO are rapidly expanding their global footprint, challenging Tesla's dominance. In contrast, American automakers are playing catch-up. Their EV sales are growing but from a much smaller base. Without a significant shift in strategy and investment, they risk becoming bit players in the electric future. Section 8. Beyond the finish line, a global race. The rise of Chinese EVs has implications that extend far beyond the automotive industry. It signifies a monumental shift in global economic power and technological innovation. China, once known primarily for its manufacturing capabilities, is now emerging as a leader in cutting-edge technology and sustainable solutions. This transformation is not just about cars, it's about a new era of mobility and energy efficiency. It is a testament to China's growing technological prowess and its ability to leverage industrial policy to achieve strategic goals. The Chinese government has invested heavily in research and development, providing subsidies and incentives to foster innovation in the EV sector. This strategic approach has enabled China to build a robust ecosystem for electric vehicles, from battery production to charging infrastructure. For the United States, it is a wake-up call, a reminder that technological leadership is not a birthright, but something that must be constantly earned. The US has long been a pioneer in automotive technology, but the rapid advancements in China's EV industry highlight the need for renewed focus and investment. American companies and policymakers must collaborate to accelerate the transition to electric mobility and ensure that the US remains competitive on the global stage. The EV revolution is still in its early stages. While significant progress has been made, there are still many challenges to overcome, including battery technology, charging infrastructure, and consumer adoption. However, the potential benefits are enormous, from reducing greenhouse gas emissions to decreasing dependence on fossil fuels. The road ahead is long and uncertain. The journey towards widespread EV adoption will require collaboration between governments, industries, and consumers. It will also necessitate continuous innovation and adaptation to address emerging challenges and opportunities. But one thing is clear, the race to electrify the world's roads is on, and China has taken a commanding lead. As nations around the world strive to meet their climate goals and transition to sustainable energy, the competition will only intensify. The outcome of this global race will shape the future of transportation and have far-reaching implications for the environment, economy, and society. Section 9. The road ahead. As we look towards the horizon, the landscape of transportation is undergoing a seismic shift. The future of the automotive industry will be electric, driven by the relentless march of technology and the urgent need to address climate change. But the question remains, who will be behind the wheel? Will it be the established giants of the industry, or will new players emerge to take the lead? Will it be Chinese companies, who have rapidly advanced in the EV sector, emboldened by their domestic success and their ability to scale production efficiently, and backed by their government's unwavering support? Or will American innovation, with its rich history of technological breakthroughs and entrepreneurial spirit, reassert themselves, pushing the boundaries of what's possible, reclaiming a leadership position in this critical sector? The competition is fierce and the stakes are incredibly high. The answers to these questions will have profound implications, not just for the auto industry, but for the global balance of technological and economic power in the 21st century. The rise of electric vehicles is not just a technological revolution, it's a geopolitical one. As countries vie for dominance in this new era, the ripple effects will be felt across industries and borders. The integration of advanced robotics and AI in EV manufacturing is setting new standards for efficiency and innovation. The journey has just begun, and the road ahead is filled with both challenges and opportunities. The transition to electric vehicles is a monumental task that requires global cooperation and relentless innovation. But the stakes are already sky high. The decisions made today will shape the future of mobility, the environment, and the global economy for generations to come. As we navigate this transformative period, one thing is certain: the road ahead is electric.